Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Sports Week, the main talking points on tonight's extended programme. Derek McInnes is confident Aberdeen can score and go through in the Europa League after their 1-1 draw with Maribor last night at Pittodrie. Mark Warburton's not happy with the format for the League Cup for Rangers in the pre-season, and we'll also discuss Paul Pogba edging ever closer to £290,000 a week at Manchester United, but is he happy? Alan Ruff is here alongside me, Peter Martin, and I'm delighted to say on a Friday, as ever on our extended programme from the Herald, Hugh McDonald, delighted to see you with us after jet-setting around. You're back with us for the new season.
Yeah, jet-setting around Cadder, Possil and all points north. Even for me jaunt up to High Possil this morning, Peter, yeah. So it's been a hectic summer.
Well, yeah, listen, with a man who can write and is so talented across many sports, Canada as well?
I was in Canada, yeah, and I was down at Wimbledon, and I was at the golf at Castle Stewart and at the Open, and I think that was the finest day's golf I saw was the Sunday at the Open. Stenson v Mickelson, 1-on-1, mano a mano. Yeah. Fantastic day.
Better than the Duel in the Sun?
I think so for quality wise. I remember the Duel in the Sun through television, and it had two of the greatest players ever. But I think the sheer quality, of what Mickelson and Stenson were doing in comparison with the rest of the field was quite outstanding.
Yep, okay. You can agree or disagree. You can interact with us at Peter and Ruffy on Twitter and facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy as well, and give us your thoughts. Thanks to the many people who post us messages, and of course, because you know the link up between myself and Ruffy, I reply to as many as possible. Ruffy just gives you a custard pie.
Well, what do you expect for £290,000 a week?
That's exactly. Absolutely. He did actually say to me, I'm thinking about getting a new phone, and I said, whatever you do, get the biggest one you can. And he went, why? And I went, so you can see it and so you can actually work the letters on the texting.
That would be a step forward.
Absolutely. You can see the tweets, you can react with the public, and of course so many housewives who are keen to exchange memories of the 70s with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And cooking recipes.
And cooking. Don't rule that out, Ruffy. It's potentially.
The old Nokia can get frantic social as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do everything.
Off it and send it there.
Okay, from the highs, there has to be a low. I'm trying my absolute best not to be negative about this, but 1-1 Aberdeen against Maribor is just not good enough.
It isn't, and you've got to be negative about it, because if we're all positive, as everybody is, about 1-1 for Celtic away, you've got to be negative about Aberdeen 1-1 at home.
Yeah.
Maribor are just becoming the whole curse of Scottish football in one word, aren't they? I think it's now hugely difficult for Aberdeen. Aberdeen not only have got to score in Maribor, but probably have to win, and that's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think it's a hard one. They had chances last night, but as we all know in European football, you've got to take them. They never get hit with a sucker punch. Unfortunately, got that goal late on, but they will go there with belief. They've got to. You know, I hear Derek saying, "Oh, we scored in our other two away games," but that doesn't mean you're going to score in this one. We hope they do. We hope they do, and I think the only way they're going to get through is if this goes to penalties. I can't honestly see them going over there and winning that game.
Yeah, and again, Hugh, listen. Derek McInnes rightly praises his side for battling right to the end. I mean, they are known for scoring goals late on. Johnny Hayes gets one. But I'm looking at the manner of the first goal. I mean, honestly, Ash Taylor just completely done, not by a speed merchant, just by the awareness around him, and the boy just dispatches it into the back of the net.
It's a curious thing, isn't it? A curious thing, Peter. Ash Taylor's sort of Aberdeen's answer to Effie Ambrose. You know, you think it's a funny thing when you're watching teams where everybody, journalists, fans, etc., say this guy's just not doing it. You know, why? You know, you wonder what the managers must see. I mean, Derek McInnes has not got a death wish. He must see something in Taylor which he likes and he wants in his team. But I mean, crucially, if you look over last season, any time Aberdeen slipped up, and let's be frank, they slipped up on a regular basis, Taylor was normally at the heart of it. It's extraordinary, and the same with Celtic with Effie. You know, the amount of times. But I think Aberdeen must to have any ideas of challenging at the top of the division this year, must strengthen central defence. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's brutal to talk about Ash that way, because I know he's a good worker, but he's not good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a real test for them. I must admit, I have cast doubts over whether they'll actually get the stadium plans off and running there, because of various bits of red tape, and of course finance always is a difficulty as well. But as far as being at Pittodrie for the immediate future, I think somewhere that a discussion needs to be had to push the boat out, if not in response to what Celtic have done, certainly in response to what Rangers have done as well, because this is going to be a real test this season for them. And I have my doubts about how Hearts will be able to replicate the achievements of last season as well. But we're going to talk about that later in the programme. But to the here and now of Aberdeen, in your gut, can you see them going over there? Yes, maybe scoring or doing enough to get through?
No, in my gut, definitely not. I mean, I don't see them. I don't see them coming out the other side of this tie. No, it gives me obviously no pleasure to do that, because I'm a man of the age of Ruffy when you would be looking at Aberdeen's chances in a European competition. We'd be talking about their chances in April, even in May. They're getting on, because they're getting to the series end now. Before July is out, we're saying, well, that's them over. I'd be pretty sure that Maribor will go through this time. Yeah,
it's a strange one, Ruffy, because I actually think most of the younger generation of Aberdeen fans just probably get hacked off listening about the Fergie years. It's almost as if you have to lay the ghosts of the pictures around Pittodrie Stadium, and it's all about going out and doing the business, just as Martin O'Neill's 2003 Celtic side tried to do, and of course in 2008 Rangers in Manchester tried to do. You want to lay ghosts to bed in a new set of heroes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, to lay the ghosts, you've got to have reasonable players, and unfortunately, the quality of player that's at Aberdeen is nowhere near the quality that you're talking about. The McLeishes, the Millers, the McGees, they're not there now. So the players that are there, they now have to set their own standards. And certainly, if they were to go away and get through this tie, it would give them a bit of belief. But I agree with you. I think it would have to be one of these games that we rub of the green, bit of luck, go to penalties and just take it.
And in the last couple of weeks, Hugh, I've written about the fact that I actually fear for us having any side in European football by August 25th, when the draw is made for group stage football.
It's a possibility, certainly. I think Celtic are the last best hope. I think how things worked out against Astana, I mean, that's a positive outcome, but they've still got another 2 ties to go through before they can think about the Champions League. I've got the gut feeling that Celtic might just do it. I think there might be reinforcements coming. I know that's the great. I wonder why I laughed at that.
No. Ruffy, let me tell you right now, that is only a journalist who's had a tip and a wink, and he's possibly responding to a bit of spin. I
think there may be, shall we say, more so.
Well, it's not going to come before the return leg.
No,
doesn't matter what way you look at it.
No. But I think they've got. I think they really got a good result. I think the return leg, if you're half a goal ahead already before you start the return leg, you're in the advantages with Celtic before the return leg. So I think.
So you're suggesting that they're coming for the next phase?
The next phase.
Yeah. Well, that involves basically buckling to Aston Villa's demands on Scott Sinclair. That's the first thing.
Keith Winus's demands, to be more precise.
Yes.
And probably to demands over. They've got 2 or 3 centre halves on the go, 2 or 3 inquiries over centre half. So probably buckling to a demand over a centre half. And the other thing as well,
get the bugle up.
No.
The reinforcements.
No. Actually, I'm not going to question it, because at the end of the day, it's not, and I am going to quantify. It's not mainstream media. It's actually Celtic fans now thinking, until we see the whites of the guy's eyes on the.
But they're quite right to. I mean, they're quite right to think that way. But I think the other thing, one of the other big developments at Celtic is, I think you're going to see over is the that there's going to have to be a clear out. And I mean, Rodgers said that the moment he came in the door, and that clear out has not yet happened. I mean, so there's going to be players going out as well. So I think it's going to be a really frenetic period between the start of the month on Sunday and the end of the month.
Surely, Hugh, the fans would be extremely disappointed if it was to happen after this next leg.
Yeah. Well, I think the fans are condemned to be disappointed, because I don't think that anybody, even if they get somebody in before the next 10, it's done.
Okay, more chat after this quick break. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy Sports Week. Do you know what I love about this programme as well? There's a great kind of a chemistry. You know, the last thing I suspected or expected was Ruffy to ask a question with 30 seconds to go before the break. It's very rare. It's like, rare that he comes in with that. You know,
says, here's a hand grenade. Can I keep the pin?
and the funny thing is, with different guests, I always assess the size of their brain and their ability to speak for longer than 20-second sound bites. With Ruffy, it's 15. Right? And that involves padding and eventually dragging out an opinion. But as he asked you the question there, I thought, we've got 30 seconds to go. You're a broadsheet journalist. You've never actually summed anything up in 15 seconds in your life.
I'm going to tell you the weather outside in 30 seconds.
So with that in mind, I'm delighted we managed to get there. I don't know if you spotted me going, oh, stop. Anyway, I digress. The joys of Peter and Ruffy's Sports Week. Every Friday it's extended programme, and of course it starts at 7 o'clock. So let's talk. We've talked about Aberdeen, we think, out. Celtic will play Barcelona in Dublin in this Champions Cup, which will bring them a nice little kitty as well, which Neil Doncaster says he's not too worried about them opting out of one of the Premier League weekends. So if Lionel Messi's there, I think all the fans who will go there in Dublin will enjoy that part of it. Do you think there's any value whatsoever in him playing a strong enough side for that one to get them ready for Astana?
I think already you've noticed that Rodgers is a thinker, and I noticed the way he built up for the Champions League, you know, as far as friendlies, playing almost a first team and then taking them off and playing again. So I think he'll be sitting now exactly saying, I don't really care what happens against Barcelona, but what I want is the guys bang on for next week, and he'll be looking at who needs sharpened up a wee bit. There's certain players as well that actually benefit from playing a lot. Griffith seems to be a type that wants to play a lot, kind of hyperactive type, that you may as well play him, because he would sitting in the eating Tunnel's tea cakes in the corner anyway. So, but I think the short answer is, the 30-second answer, the 15-second answer is, I think Rodgers will be looking at this pretty carefully, and it'll be as a sharpening up exercise. This matters nil except for prestige and money, and the prestige is limited. Next week's everything.
I don't think I'd be playing the boy Roberts.
No.
I think he would be extremely wrapped up in cotton wool as far as I'm concerned. I think he was fantastic in the first game, and they need him really on the ball. Yeah,
I'll quantify that quickly by saying, by the way, there are other good tea cakes as well. I always try and cover my tail here on this, Hugh. I would actually say to you, Astana, I'm not taking anything away from Celtic's away goal. They could have lost a goal in the last minutes because of more haphazard defending, but they're no great shakes. I think Celtic, will get over the line, and then it's what they do in the next part that I think is the big test for them. But Toure coming in at the expense of Ambrose is a must. I mean, if anything with Celtic, I think the bigger question is how much can the chief executive work his magic in offloading the dead wood.
He's got two priorities. I mean, that is, we alluded to that in the first part. The part of the equation is getting rid of people, because the people there in wages, and I think particularly in midfield he needs to get rid of a lot of people. But there's huge questions about who to get rid of and who. For example, here's a grenade. I was amazed that Rodgers immediately said to Scott Brown, come on down to London, here's a meal, let's have a great natter, and you're immediately part of my team. And you're going, wait a wee minute, because I think there's questions over Scott Brown.
Well, I would only quantify it in one way. I think at the tail end of last season, he's been asked to play with an injury. The other aspect of it is, I think, is what people's perception of what Scott Brown should be doing. I mean, I think he would have easily fitted alongside a Neil Lennon and a Martin O'Neill side, because quite simply stop the other team playing and then give it to somebody who's gifted. You know, that's my view on the role that Scott Brown's at his best at. If you're saying Scott Brown is the new Paul McStay, you're doing them the biggest disservice you've ever done. He's 30 years of age. Have his legs gone? You know, not at 30. I just think he needs to change the way that he is deployed in that team.
I think, unfortunately, for the last 3 years, he's taken it upon himself to be the main man, the main driving force, to do this, to do that, instead of actually concentrating on what he's good at. And okay, he's got these wee injuries, we don't know how bad they are, but I think at this particular time, Celtic need to bring players in to complement him, rather than him complimenting everybody else. You know, taking the weight off him a wee bit and say, look, this is your duty. As we all knew, the Neil Lennon job that he had to do, and the players round about him did their job. I just think for the last 2 or 3 years, he's been doing too much in a Celtic jersey.
Yeah, I think the other problem as well, Hugh, you've rightly touched on it there, is they've got so many midfielders. They need to make a decision.
And he needs to make a decision how he wants to set up his midfield. Frankly, if he's going to play 4-3-3, Scott Brown doesn't get a game. It's as simple as that. I mean, I don't know where you play him in that middle three to any advantage. And I think there's going to be big decisions going to have to be made about him down the line.
Yep, okay. I don't think he's in the firing line as much as a few others. I think when you start to look...
I think the point is that he's not. But
he's long. He's away at the back of the queue for me.
But he seems to have a protected status at the moment that I think at one time there's still going to have to be a decision. If you're asking me, does Brendan Rodgers have a decision to make about Scott Brown? Brendan Rodgers said, no, I'm going to play him every week.
Yeah.
If you're asking me further down the line, I said almost certainly yes.
Yeah, okay, interesting one. So just on that point, do you see them getting past Astana?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, the League Cup has been interesting, Hugh, because quite simply, I like to go out and see other teams, lower leagues, see the way they play, if we're really as bad as we suggest. I saw a brilliant game in midweek. I thoroughly enjoyed Albion Rovers against Clyde. And of course, I was at a ground where basically you had a full head of hair.
Yes.
You know, the last time probably you were at Clifton Hill, and it hasn't changed since that time, Hugh. I have to suggest to you.
Hugh's hair or the ground?
No, the ground. Hugh's hair's changed dramatically, but the ground is exactly the same. And the funny thing was, there was about 5 or 6 people up on the far
hill.
bank who didn't want to pay to get in.
Marvellous.
And I thought, wow, that takes me back to a real bygone era, you know. Nobody wants to pay to get in, you know.
And the great thing about Clifton Hill as well is that when I was there last, which wasn't that long ago as well, it still has the dip at the corner flags, so that everybody who takes a corner flag is paying tribute to Jinky Johnson.
Yes.
Because they go in and the corner's down, so they've got to help hill from the corner. Marvellous stadium.
Yes.
Great stadium.
So the League Cup
Yes.
format, you were there the first time around when this League Cup had a similar look about
Sections,
it.
yep.
But, and Ruffy, you were playing in it, I beg your pardon, as well, to pay tribute to you. Mark Warburton not happy with it. Obviously, these games coming thick and fast for Rangers. I would actually counter his concern over it to suggest he's not going to play in that next season.
Well, I mean, hopefully he'll be thinking there's one simple way, Mark, and not bothering about all this preliminaries, and that's to qualify for the knockout round immediately.
Yes.
So that's it there. That's it there. One step. If you beat Hibs, you wouldn't have had to do this. So I'm not taking too much of that on board. I quite like when managers come out and give all that. We always complain when managers don't give an opinion. So I love them coming out and giving an opinion on this. I just wonder where it's coming from, because I thought it's worked really well for Rangers this season.
Yeah, it's probably the thick and fast nature of it, because of pre-season where you get a chance to recuperate from one friendly to the next, then you get a look at people in a different light. These are all competitive games. I I've got a lot of time for him. I don't think he's not the type of manager for me that's gone before, you know, whether it's Rangers or Celtic, who you know has any kind of real bite or hidden agenda. He's just a football man,
Yeah,
which I like about him.
I like that as well. But again, as a football man, I thought Raphael can answer this better than me. But I thought like having sort of limitedly competitive games in that you're not playing, you know, a Champions League qualifier against Arsenal or you know, having competitive games against like some Motherwell, Stranraer, whatever.
East
Stirlingshire. I thought that was just a nice optimum. But you,
But the thing about it is, with the pool of players that Rangers have got, he's got a chance to throw in. The other clubs haven't got that, you know, luxury. So how are they surviving if they're playing all the same number of games as Rangers are playing? And I would think Rangers have got more players to play than them.
Yeah,
so,
but with all due respect, Ruffy, I think Rangers now, listen, whether you like it or not, the expectation level has changed. You know, there can be, at the start of this season, there can be no signs or sniffs of negativity. It's all got about, it's about building momentum here.
well, surely winning games is what it's all about, and that's
Well, they're doing it.
and that's what they're doing. So
Yeah.
why come out and complain?
I've tipped them to win it.
the League Cup.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, it's. I mean, why
And
not?
that's just an early guess, Hugh.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
might as well
it's
get in there
just-
to annoy people.
Aye,
That's what we're here to
that's
do.
right.
That's what we're here to do,
And
Hugh.
you do it so well.
Offer.
You do so well, but
Yeah,
I
just
don't
like
know about the
breathing.
I don't know about the viewers, but God, me and Ruffy.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you're going to see a totally different Ruffy this season,
Yeah.
Hugh. Let me tell you, there's going to be a real edge to Ruffy, even if I have to drag it out of him. We're back after these. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Sports Week. Hugh McDonald of the Herald joins us on the extended Friday programme as ever, and we're delighted to have him. Of course, there are other clubs involved in this League Cup, Hugh, and one of them, Kilmarnock. Now, I read that story this morning about Lee Clark could possibly be contemplating his future, and I'm thinking to myself, well, Kilmarnock are really in disarray at the moment. There's a lot of turmoil in the background. They've the board members have tried to call an EGM because they're not happy. They want Michael Johnson completely away from the club. The fans certainly are not happy that Michael Johnson is there. And suddenly you have a manager whose policy is to bring in a lot of players
A lot of living.
who have not sampled Scottish football. And the manager, for me, you know, did a good job in keeping them in the division when I thought they would go out of it. So he kept them in the division. I'm not too sure if, you know, he had a real grasp. You know, he had a short-term quick fix. Now he's got to get a long-term plan in place and quickly, you know, against a, you know, with a disenchanted support.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete and utter change of culture. You got to remember Lee Clark's managed, you know, Huddersfield and Birmingham City. Now, some people can be sniffy about that, but if you look at the budgets afforded to him there and compared to the budget that'll be at Kilmarnock, I don't think he would have grasped totally, you know, how hard this league is and how hard it is to attract people in here and keep people here. I mean, Paul Hartley's learning that this week. I mean, Paul Hartley's lost somebody who's central to all these plans to Oxford. As simple as that. So it's a very tough league. I think the problems in the background have to be sorted before Kilmarnock can even think of going forward. Think of engaging the fans totally. Think of engaging local businesses locally. I think there's an awful lot of good people in and around Kilmarnock, and I think there's a couple of really good people waiting in the wings at Kilmarnock as well. That, you know, intelligent people with financial nous and financial resources that could get that club back into some kind of stability again.
Yeah.
And the footballing side, he's obviously made his mind up that the Scottish quality isn't any good. Because he's went down to England and brought up 11. He's let go a player.
I don't think it's that.
Well, he's let go the Scottish boys who were raving about the wee boy Craig Johnson, or let Slater go.
Yeah.
These were players that we were talking about were going to be fantastic over the years to come.
Yeah, but I would suggest to you this: sometimes if you're coming from a different place, you revert to what you know.
I've got to. It's a fear thing, isn't it? It's what we all do. Whatever we think, we go back to, you know, we go back and embrace what makes us safe,
Yeah.
and what we have knowledge about. I was surprised, certainly Slater as well. I was surprised about him, but again, the manager's saying to himself, well, I've got to go back to what I know, because he knows immediately. He's had a good kick at this league, and he's not daft, Clark, by a long man. And he said, do you know what? You're not going to be challenging for Europe next year.
Yeah.
You're going to be in that bottom six. We're going to be in that position where we're going to try and get out of a playoff spot. So I've got to go with what I know. Hugely intriguing story at Kilmarnock. Very emotionally draining for the support, because it's turbulent with Johnson, etc. That's been a situation that's just frankly festered for a couple of seasons. So hugely intriguing season for them.
Okay, whether it pans out with Lee Clark in control, only time will tell. The boardroom's got massive changes to go as well. But of course, the League Cup in its present format, we're now getting down to the point where everybody finishes off their games. They'll now know exactly where they are going into the next round. Do you like I don't just briefly, do you like the penalty shootout situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we do in Scotland is we criticise people for staying to the status quo, and then when they change the status quo, we criticise too. I mean, as I say, I was on a flight to Canada for 6 hours, and a guy said to me, he said, can you explain the League Cup to me? And as the plane landed, I says, I'll get you on the way back and I'll explain the rest of it. But I like the penalty. I like it going straight to penalties. I think, by the way, in world football it should go straight to penalties. But
yes, so do I.
So I like the innovation. I like the fact that they're trying to do something. They're trying to freshen things up. Because really, what we need in Scottish football is innovative thinking, is a bit of freshening up. Whether playing about with rules and regulations is going to bring the fans back in their tens of thousands, I don't think so. But we can't criticise them for having a go.
Did you bump into that guy when you were just walking from first class to economy?
Yes, I was actually getting escorted from first class to
and it's good actually, because you're right, Hugh, you do revert to what you know. That's why Ruffy and myself got you and Keevans together in the summer for those specials. Because you revert to what you know. You need that comfort blanket. It's like a blanket. I need experienced people like yourselves just to get us and give us that little angle that we haven't thought of.
That's right. And what's Keevans doing now? Does he still do it? I don't know. Does he still do it? I don't think.
Don't get us into trouble now. Don't get us into trouble. Okay, in the League Cup, Ruffy, we're going to go and see the Jags tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, in Queen's Park. Good to see. I haven't seen Gus's side this year. It'll be interesting. I think the one stand's been open tomorrow, obviously, with the crowd.
Yeah.
But no, I think it'll be a good atmosphere. I think the Thistle have started particularly well. Obviously, a couple of players in there, and at the start of the season, you're always looking for something. And you touched on it briefly. It's a cup that Thistle have won quite a long time ago. So the progression in this cup will be eagerly waited on the Thistle supporters, as they usually are.
Well, I'm not going to get him started on movies, because obviously he gets excited about movies, but I'll be able to go and see the picture of Dorian Gray. The big painting is there from a bygone era.
I know, that's right.
The mullet, which is still there. The middle parting, it's still there.
That was a 10-sitting photograph. I had to sit for 10 hours to get that picture.
Did you really?
Yes, it was a professional painter from Glasgow University.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Have you seen it?
The professional painter, he said, you come round and do your living room.
Yes.
Two coats, one day. It's marvellous.
Yeah, I had my doubts when I went in the first sitting, and I had just one eye. You know, and I didn't know who he was looking at.
For the benefit of everybody at Glasgow University, he had two eyes. But anyway, it's a good. I'm looking forward to it. Partick Thistle against Queen's Park. I think that's the good thing about these League Cup sections. It is the penalty shootout part of it. Plus, of course, you get a chance to go around. If you love football, I mean, this is not a job. I mean, if you love football and you go and watch it, it's great. You get to see players. And Barry Ferguson's side, Clyde, and Darren Young's side played really good football. I enjoyed it. So, it's not. We're not maybe as bad as everybody's painting it.
Two good managers tomorrow, and interesting thing that if Mr. Clark decided that Kilmarnock was enough for him, I think they could do an awful lot worse than Gus McPherson.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that to you. I mean, I honestly think I've tipped Clyde to win their division, Hugh, and I think Barry Ferguson, with the side that he's building there, if he wins anything with Clyde this season, he's on a big job too.
Well, he's got the dual thing, hasn't he? He's got what some chairman love is the big name as well.
Yes.
So I always feel like like Gus did absolutely nothing wrong at St Mirren, and he's done nothing wrong at Queen's Park.
No, absolutely not. He's well worthy of a bigger job as well. And I must just mention that I've got to pay compliment to Albion Rovers' reek of Billy Stark as well. I have to tell you, they played some lovely football now. I could just see Starkey easily fitting into the middle of that team. So his influence with Darren experience is brilliant. Just on the point that you touched on earlier with Dundee, John Helms, the managing director, has said, blame me for the Kane Hemmings. The fans are not happy. They'll look at the manager, and the manager's words yesterday would have filled everybody with dread. Greg Stewart. Now, are we putting 2 and 2 together? There's a central defender and a striker that Rangers need. They wouldn't do they wouldn't do too badly if I could get it out with Greg Stewart. And for the benefit of anybody if anybody's under the age of 40 or 50, they're doing the flower pot. You need to YouTube it. It's as simple as that. Anyway,
going back,
Greg Stewart.
Go back to Greg Stewart. The simple answer to the question, any supporters or reporters' questions about Kane Hemmings is £250,000. That's as simple as
that. But what about Stewart?
Stewart, again, I think Stewart, for me, I know Hemmings scores a goal. I think certainly Stewart's a cleverer player.
Yeah.
I think he's a player like Mark Warburton would look at and say, I like him, I like his movement, I like the way he comes short, I like he plays people in. I think he's a smashing player, Greg Stewart. And I'm surprised that Dundee have been able to keep him. Now, if he goes as well, Paul Hartley with Didi coming up very, very quickly has got a problem. I know he brought in the Dutch boy, but he's got a problem. You know, that's what he's got, because he'll have to replace him.
Yeah, just before we go to the break, Ruffy, Hibs are waiting on a reply from Celtic with regards to Liam Henderson. I think that'll be a real shot in the arm for the High Bees if they could get him.
It's a Liam Henderson shout. You know, he's got to decide. He wasn't on the plane. You know, he's going to look at the players that brought in, the young players that he's brought in, and say to himself, where is my future? And the future is playing football, and he's had a taste of success at Hibs, so why not go back and try it again?
And I do believe briefly, Hugh, that he could get the success going back the way to go 2 steps forward.
I think he's a smashing player, Liam Henderson, and I don't understand the neutrality about him among some of the coaching staff at Celtic. I think he's a Celtic player.
Okay then, you can give us your thoughts on that.